Today, we're back with my friend Josh McGill. Josh is a 17-year fire service veteran, a husband, a father, and the founder of Volca Fire. In this episode, we talk about what resilience really looks like when life hits you with something that no family should ever have to deal with. And we're not talking the cliche version of resilience, not the social media version, but the real version. The kind where resilience looks like getting out of bed, drinking some water, and taking the next step when everything in you feels crushed by grief. We also talk about how Josh and his wife Ashley navigated the loss of their first daughter, Leni, and how that experience changed his relationship with fear, time, purpose, and risk. Out of that season came a deeper sense of mission, and eventually the work he's now building through Volca and the Volca Training System, which is a modular fire service training system designed to help departments train smarter and get more from every dollar they spend. This conversation is about pain, it's about partnership, it's about resilience, and it's about what it means to build something worthwhile while you're carrying the grief and gratitude at the same time. I am really honored to share this episode with you.
Welcome to the Keep the Promise podcast, where we help build resilient and well-rounded firefighters.
We all hear a lot of cliches about resilience and about being strong mentally and emotionally and, refuse to sink or whatever other Instagram influencer bullshit
right.
you want to talk about. When it comes to what you've went through as a family, what does that resilience look like? Because now there's two of you that are experiencing this intense grief.
Yeah, I mean, resilience isn't this big, strong, brave push forward. I mean, for us, resilience was fucking waking up in the morning and taking one step out of bed and then taking another step and then maybe drinking some water. It's just everything becomes so heavy that resilience is just doing everyday things and not just getting crushed by the weight. It's not like this big epiphany that you have that's like, oh, I'm healed from this now. It's just pushing through, everyday mundane things.
Is this around the time that the idea for Volca came about?
Yes. So Volca, the idea for that, I don't even remember when that popped into my head, the very original idea. But I do remember around COVID, I was partially furloughed, so I was working 4 days a week instead of 5. And kind of on that fourth day, I would, use some time and think about, maybe some businesses I wanted to start or things that I wanted to do. And some of them were fire service related. Some of them weren't. I had a little idea book next to, on top of my desk that anytime some crazy fucking idea popped in my head, I would write it down and then look at it again tomorrow. And I would either be like, this is an idea worth pursuing, or I have no idea what this note even means in my book. But yeah, so during COVID, I was looking at a handful of business ideas. And one of the ones I kept coming back to was this thought I had for it doesn't even resemble, what I have today, but it was this idea for an adjustable roof prop that you could adjust the pitch or lay it flat or lay it or stand it straight up, because almost all construction is spaced either 16 or 24 inch on center. So a wall, a roof, a ceiling, all of that stuff would pretty much have the same spacing. And if you stood it up, it would be a wall. If you laid it flat, it would be a roof. And that was kind of the idea that I had. And I played around with a couple other ideas. But this was the one that kind of stuck with me. I couldn't shake. And I would kind of, do some sketches here and there, and when I had some time. And I had really started to run with it and get some sketches and figure some things out with it when we were pregnant with Leni. And then, during her pregnancy, it was one of those things that I would kind of work on in my free time. But then she was born and I thought, okay, well, this might have to wait for a little while and maybe I'll pick this up later or I'll find some time for it later. But I mean, we had a newborn in the NICU and then a newborn at home. And then she died. And, it was just one of those things that after she died, I had no idea what I was going to do with myself. I mean, my job was very, very gracious with the amount of time that they gave me to mourn. And not everybody has that. But basically, they said, take literally as much time as you need and come back when you're ready. And for me, that was probably 2.5, maybe 3 months before I came back to work, before I could even think about coming back to work. But sitting by yourself, or not by yourself, I had Ashley with me, but just sitting alone with your thoughts for 2.5 months is very hard when you experience something like that. But Ashley ended up putting a lot of her time and effort and brain power and all that into crafting, and she's always been an avid crafter, and she made a lot of crafts for Leni when she was pregnant with her. But anything that she did for Leni, like, it was just too hard to try to do that. So she picked up a completely different craft, and that was she'd never crocheted before. So she picked up crochet, and she got really good at it with all the time that we had kind of sitting there. And she ended up starting Leni's Less. So she would crochet these little stuffed animals with blankets on them called Less. And her goal was to, by Leni's first birthday, to have 50 of them done that she could donate to the hospital that Leni was born and then died at. And then for me, what that looked like was kind of just diving into this crazy idea that I had, and really just kind of pick up where I was and figuring it out. I mean, I had zero excuses. I had any excuse that you could think of. I don't have time. Well, I had time. But what if you fail? Well, who the fuck cares if you fail? I just lost my daughter. That doesn't even matter anymore. What if the people in the fire service reject this idea? Like, who the fuck cares what they think? I just lost my daughter. I didn't. It was more an exercise in keeping myself busy. And yeah, that's what I dove into was fleshing this thing out. And at this point, I had realized, through this, 10 months or whatever that I had been doing this, the idea started to take shape for what Volca would be eventually in like a fully modular training system. And it was an idea that I was excited about. As excited as you can be about anything, after you lose your child. But it was something that it was more a problem to solve than it was even a business at that point. It was something that I wanted to see through, solve the problem, and make it work. And that's what I did with myself for a better part of 3 months.
You also taught yourself how to use CAD. You taught yourself things about manufacturing, materials, yes, prototyping.
That was all part of it. After I could get the energy to get up off the couch, or wherever we were sleeping, it was a lot of problems to solve, and that was what kept me busy. One of them was CAD. I touched CAD a little bit in engineering school, but I was never very good at it. The manufacturing side of things, I didn't know anything about manufacturing. I knew that my dad had a friend who owned knew a guy who owned a welding shop. Asked him some questions, and I kind of figured a little bit out, and then ended up meeting with another, fabrication entity that basically when I was ready for possibly doing my first, prototype of what this was originally. I took it to them, and they had some good advice for me, and then they gave me a price quote to build a prototype, and it was astronomical. And part of that astronomical cost was a small part of it was the CAD design and engineering drawings. And I was like, well, I think I could at least tackle this piece of it and save myself some money. So I downloaded a program for free and watched some YouTube videos and ended up designing all the parts myself, which is good because before that I was literally sketching them out in Microsoft OneNote on a tablet with a little stylus, and that was those were the drawings that I took to this welding shop. And so that just from research and I guess just sheer willpower, I figured out how to make it work, and ordered my first prototype. I don't know, probably later that year. It had to have been later that year. My first prototype for that, and it worked ish. It wasn't even a full prototype. It was like I prototyped out a couple parts, and nothing like what it ended up being. I don't know if no, they're all in the garage. I don't think I have any of the parts laying around. I would show you, but it was a learning curve, but it was at that point it was still a problem to solve. I was excited about it, but it was fun solving the problem, making it work, figuring out how to do it.
So at its core, what does your product solve that departments have accepted for so long? Real quick before we jump back in. Firefighters don't leave each other behind. We look out for our own. Right now, there's a firefighter out there, maybe a rookie, maybe a seasoned veteran, who needs this podcast. They need the lessons, the mindset, and the training tips. But they'll never get them unless you help them. Here's how you can help right now. On Apple Podcasts, tap the 5 stars, then scroll down and write just a few words about what the show has done for you. On Spotify, tap the 3 dots, select Rate Show, and drop your rating. It takes less than 60 seconds, it costs you nothing, and it helps one more firefighter get better, stronger, and more prepared. We look out for each other. This is one small way that you can pay it forward. All right, back to the show.
Yeah. So the Volca training system it's essentially everything but the door prop. I mean, it's the props
I like that.
You know what? I'm gonna write that down.
Yeah, write that shit down, dude.
Put that on the website. But yeah, it's every prop that either you used to have to make yourself out of wood, a Denver drill prop or a bailout prop or whatever, and then it would sit outside for 10, 12 months and get all warped and discolored, and then you'd have to either replace the wood on it or tear it down and build a new one, or you would have to go out and order a commercially built roof prop for $15,000 or whatever they're going for now. And I thought it was such a shame because there's so many things out there that you can use, like so many props out there that you can use to train on really get used because either they're a pain in the ass to build or they're expensive or they take up too much room, or you can't transport them.
To mention they're just single use.
Or they're single use. Yeah, I mean, you have a Denver drill prop that maybe you'll use for, which is great. I mean, it's great training, but maybe you use it a handful of times a year, if that. You have the same Denver drill prop, all the dimensions are always the same, or you have the same roof prop that the slope is always the same, or I got to thinking there has to be a better way to do this. And eventually that was the product that I have out there now is a better way to do it. Not to plug my product too hard there, but fire.com.
Everything but the door prop. All right, let's run through a list of the things that it can do because the way that you explain it, it just makes sense, right? You're ditching the single-use props, especially in a day and age when shit's expensive and departments are getting way more budget conscious.
Oh, yeah.
So we can do roof ops, right?
Yeah, so you can do pitched roof, peak roof. You can actually, the base Volca training system comes with enough parts to have 2 separate 8-foot wide peaked roofs built at the same time. It can do, off of that, you can do knee walls and other things off of the same exact setup for that roof, which depending on, how high you have it set, could be a crawl space, it could be a flat roof, it could be a floor for, firefighter through the floor stuff. You can do Denver drill with just about damn near true to life Denver drill dimensions, or you can alter it to make, the window wider, narrower, the hallway wider, narrower, the sill higher or lower, depending on, how you want to change it up. You can do a bailout window. Again, you can change the dimensions of the window. You can add window bars. You can do wall configurations. So you can put actual drywall up, breach drywall, go through studs, 16, 20, 24 inch spacing, whatever you want to do. You can frame out a window and cut it down for, window to door stuff. You can do, you can put some corrugated metal up there and do, like garage door stuff. You can use it as a traditional cut tree. You can do all sorts, and there's all kinds of.
I was going to say, at this point, I think it might be easier to list the stuff that it doesn't do.
It is not the door prop.
It is not the door prop. I'm getting that made on a shirt.
And like ceiling pool. And I mean, I've had people ask me like, hey, do you think it could do this? Like, yeah, probably could. And the other fun part about it is that for me, at least, as kind of a design nerd, is, there's so many capabilities that you can just it has the potential for a lot of different things, for add-ons, things that would basically, just the modular nature of it, for add-ons that you can just bolt to it. Like I have right now I don't have a ton out, but I have a ton in the pipeline, and mostly I don't have a ton out right now because we have an almost 2-year-old that takes up a lot of time, which is great. I mean, it's amazing being a dad, but yeah, I mean, if I had all the time in the world and didn't have another full-time job, then I would probably have a lot more stuff out there, but yeah, a handful of add-ons are coming soon that I'm super excited about too.
And it's super cool that you're taking feedback from the community. You're talking to the people out there using it, and when they come up with the idea of like, do you think we can do X, Y, or Z? You're like, yeah, let's make it happen, and let's
figure it out. That's how the ceiling pool configuration came about. Somebody asked me, hey, do you think you could do a ceiling pool? And I was like, you know what? I think you absolutely could. And now I just put it on the website here recently.
Boom, new module.
That's right.
No, it's cool because community is going to give you the most ruthless feedback, but also they're going to shockingly tell you exactly what they want and what they need. And you recently got a chance to really show it off at the Key City Fire Conference, huh?
Yeah, that was really cool. That was kind of by luck. I had reached out to to the Key City Fire Conference people, and I was like, hey, I have this thing. If you guys want to use it, I mean, this was probably only a few weeks before the conference started, but eventually, maybe like a week before the conference or so, Hank from Hasty Rescue Strap had a conversation with him, and he's like, hey, I'm thinking about doing this scenario, kind of like firefighter up out of a basement window. Do you think we could use the VTS as a platform for that? I said, yeah, absolutely. So we got that set up, and it worked great, and it was really cool to see. I wasn't even there. I wasn't even able to make the conference because I made that offer, and then I realized, shit, we're gonna be out of town that weekend. But no, I wasn't there, but it went really well, and I was super happy to see it get used like that. And it feels great to actually see, like, to have a product is one thing, but to actually see it out making a difference, like, without you being there, is a completely different feeling. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It's just like kind of like a sense of pride seeing it used, and people are learning on it, and they're doing stuff with it, and people are being made better because of it.
So if I'm a training officer and I'm listening to this, where do you think I could fit it into, I don't know, my plan for drills?
Yeah, I mean, it's very heavy right now on like truck and RIT operations. So, I mean, anytime you want to, firefighter survival as well. So any module that's firefighter survival related, truck company operations related, you could use it for whatever you want. And, engine company stuff, I mean, it's hard to make a prop for engine company stuff because it's kind of like, you have your hose and you pull your hose, and that's
dude,
what
you gotta get, how like a nozzle forward and whatnot, they'll stack the pallets vertically.
Hey, no. Hey, you can't talk about that yet. It's coming.
Okay, we can't talk about that. Sorry.
Can't talk about that yet.
I'm going back to my nozzle forward days. Okay. God.
I do actually have something planned for that.
So you're not leaving the engine company behind.
That's not.
Awesome.
No, I'm not.
Okay, but I am one of those smaller departments, and again, I have to make every single penny count, and I have to really, really take responsibility for where the money goes. Why is this the smart choice for me?
I mean, it would be the most bang for your buck that you can get. I mean, any one of these props commercially made on the market would, it still costs less. The VTS as a whole still costs less than any one of these singular use props out on the market. So, I mean, if you can justify buying a roof prop, you can justify buying a VTS. It's one of the things that I set out to do was keep it accessible for all departments, and that's super important to me because training is super important to me. And that was one of the reasons I wanted to make a prop that was more than just a single prop. It was something that you could use for any number of different things, and in this case, it's something that you can use for any number of different things, and if you're not using it, it's not going to take up an entire day of your firehouse. You could fit it in the back of the chief's buggy and take it to another firehouse if you need to. Like, the portability, collapsibility, and overall usability, I honestly think it sells itself. Yeah, I mean, as a training officer, this is something that I wish was available to me when I was making training schedules, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm looking at your website now. It's super thorough, and it's so awesome being able to see the pictures, but also putting it in context of what I saw in real life when I checked it out in person.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. One of my biggest challenges right now, though, is showing people that what they see on the website is all one prop. I still get inquiries to my website that are like, "Hey, we just want the roof prop," and I'm like, "No, you don't understand. You get everything. Like, you get all of these things." Except the add-ons, obviously they're add-ons, but
I'm literally going to take this chunk of the video and send it to you so you can put it on the website.
Yes, please. It's what I need to do, honestly. At the very top, I'll replace the picture of the roof operation there on the very, very front of the website, and I'll just put this video of me saying, "Stop. Before you scroll any further, I need you to understand this. It is all one single prop. Everything.
Just one. You don't need to go buy a roof prop. You don't need to go buy a wall breach prop. You don't need to figure out some half-assed Denver drill prop, anything. You buy it, and you just switch some pins, and you add some wood to it, and boom.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah, and it was so cool seeing it in person. In my twisted mind, I could, like, okay, this is how it's going to turn into the floor. This is how it's going to turn it. Oh, now we can lower the supports. Now we can make it into a crawl space. Like, huh. Oh, dude, I had the thought. I'm like, why the fuck didn't I think of this?
Well, it's patent pending. You can't think of it now. So
yeah, well, that can't.
Fuck off.
Thought police is going to get me. No, I need to start making videos for the Volcademy.
Yeah, so I honestly, that's a funny story. So when I was making the website, I needed a tab at the top. And I needed because I just needed to put the tab there when I was building the website. And I was like, that was just kind of like a filler word. I was like, oh, it's Volcademy. And I fucking left it on the website by accident. And then I don't remember who it was. It might have been you that was like, oh, Volcademy, I like it. I was like, well, that's still on the fucking website. So that's how that ended up there. And that's, I think I'll keep it there.
Dude, you have to. It's got a name. It's kind of like Squatamole that we used to make in the firehouse.
Squatamole, that's right. Squatamole.
Walker and his fucking Guatamole. Nah, I like the field guides.
Best Squatamole I've ever had, though.
Dude, honestly, like, it's those good old days that you wish you knew were in there, because shitty avocados, some fucking pre-made guac mix, no tomatoes, no onions, it is an absolute insult to real guacamole. Oh, and what else did we add to it? Smoky chipotle Tabasco sauce. We just doused that thing in it. And I don't know, it's still some of the most delicious guac ever because of the company, because of the time, because of where we were in life, where it was just easy. It was fun. It was carefree. We were going to fires. We were hanging out with our boys and eating fucking squatum.
That's right. The good old days. Simpler time.
Much simpler. Back when you were just dating Ashley, what has she now, as your wife, what has she taught you about life, about strength, about what did she teach you and show you that the fire service never did?
Wow. That's a pretty deep question. I mean, well, first, with everything that happened with Leni, seeing that this just strength that she had, it was everything that we could do just to get out of bed or do whatever, but we together, we took that time head on. The hard things, we knew we had to do the hard things. We knew we had to be the ones to plan her funeral. We knew we had to be the ones to, put her toys away, all her clothes away and all that. Super hard. But, she was my rock, and I guess I was hers during that time. And that's, something, I guess that's something that the fire service can't teach you. I mean, it's something that nothing can teach you until you go through it. And, watching her be the mother of my children or our children. I mean, they're hers too. But, watching her be a mom, and it's awesome. And it's a whole different aspect of life outside of the fire service. Because for so long, my identity was being a fireman. And now my identity is not only still doing fireman stuff, but, being a dad is kind of how I identify now too. Being a husband, trying to be the best husband. And she makes me want to be better. Having a family makes you want to be better.
Does that desire to be a better person at home make you a better businessman, you think?
Maybe, I guess. I mean, what made me a better businessman was the fact that I definitely married up. And we had a little bit more disposable income, basically just a trophy husband, honestly. But what made me a better businessman was that she believed in me and my idea, and she never batted an eye when I said, hey, I need $8,000 to spend on this thing that I have no idea if it's going to work or not. She's like, I believe in you. Go for it. Yeah, it's nuts to think about looking back at the risk. Not even the risk, but just knowing what I know now. And knowing how much money that I've spent on this, having not known at the beginning whether this was going to work out or not, I don't know if I would have done it again. But you don't know what you don't know, and I'm glad I did it.
Let that be a lesson to all of you who are thinking about starting a business, or you are fighting through your business and you have an unsupportive partner. There are people out there who will actually cheer for you and trust you and believe in what you're doing. I was going to ask 100%. You this next question about what supporting each other looks like. And you already answered it, but I keep thinking about when we had our last taco night at La Boteca, and Edith was being a little gremlin. And Ashley's like, I'm just going to go take her outside for a little bit. You could have sat there for like 20 minutes with Lauren and me just shooting the shit and, talk about the good old days, and Ashley would have had it handled. But I noticed it. It was not more than like 3 minutes that you looked up and you're like, it's time for a change of the guard. It's time for Ashley and me to do the relay race, and I deal with the gremlin now, and she can come back here and chat with you guys. And it was such a minuscule thing, but I think it's so indicative of the relationship and the partnership that you guys have that is honestly inspiring, and it's something to strive for, because every single time that I've seen you two, it's equals. One might be dragging, the other one picks up, vice versa, but it has never been I am the husband, thou shall do what I tell you. And it has never been like, you are the trophy husband, so shut the fuck up and, massage my feet type thing, which actually you should probably do that anyway for her. But it's so cool. It's so cool seeing two of my close friends embody what I didn't think was possible in a relationship. It's fucking badass.
I appreciate that. Well, it's also like, I mean, when you go through something like that, it just kind of either brings you together or it tears you apart. And in our case, it brought us even closer than I thought, we could have been. And we're very much most of the time on the same wavelength. But also at La Tolteca, she was and she still is right now very pregnant. So that is the other side of it. She's very pregnant, and I knew that Edith was being kind of a little gremlin, so she needed some relief there.
Lauren and I were like, shit, isn't Ashley due like soon? Like, are they gonna walk in with 2 kids and we don't know about it? Like, fuck. Because you guys were like, oh, we're gonna go to IKEA and then we'll be by soon, and then we're like, fuck, are they just popping out another kid at IKEA? Holy shit.
Maybe. I mean, there's worse places to pop out a kid, I guess. Do they get Swedish citizenship if they get popped out?
Ooh, that's a solid question, dude. I hope they would send you home with like a bag, like
some meatballs,
but a huge fucking bag. I would crush so many of those right now.
Yeah, Edith loves those meatballs. So
now this is a question that I can relate to, and I think anybody in the fire service who has dealt with family can relate to. What have you had to unlearn from firehouse culture to show up well at home?
I mean, I don't think I had to unlearn anything. I think it was more, looking back on it now, I was definitely headed down the path for some burnout. And I think, that course corrected after I left the fire service. But that still took a while. And looking back, like during that time, if what happened with Leni had happened then, I would have been in a much different and much worse position to try to not only get myself through it, but help Ashley through it as well. So, I mean, yeah, not so much unlearning, but it was just kind of like a headspace at the time. And partially I did that to myself. I mean, like we talked about, I mean, it was a 24/48 schedule. I would come off work and drive an hour and a half, 2 hours home and ride fire trucks for a day or two and then go back to work. I mean, definitely wasn't sustainable, but it was what I was doing. And that wouldn't hold up today, I don't think.
Yeah, I don't know how we didn't.
Yeah, I don't know.
She'd kill you 100%.
Oh, yeah, 100%. I'd be divorced 100%.
But the fire service is in the rear view. Let's look ahead. Where do you want Volca to be in 5 years?
I mean, ideally, I would love to just do Volca full time. Like, I would love that to be what I do. Right now, it's not. I mean, I literally just launched the business 3 months ago, officially, and I'm definitely not in a position to do that yet. But that's where I would like to be. I would like to have, not only the VTS, but good add-ons, more capabilities, more different types of training systems. I mean, I have a whole note in my phone of all of the ideas that I have, and I would love to take it to a point where I could just focus on those full time. Yeah, I mean, that's where I would like it to be. Where it will be or not be, I have no idea. Time will tell, but it's still very early, and it's still all super exciting, and I enjoy doing it. But it's just a time thing, If I had all the time in the world, it'd be a different story, but you know how it goes.
So say that I'm a firefighter and, I'm having those thoughts about doing something better or differently. Maybe I want to, I don't know, start doing leather work. Maybe I want to start my lawn care business. And I'm sitting on that idea, but I keep talking myself down because I'm scared, because I have fear of being judged. I have fear of failing. What do you tell me as that firefighter?
I mean, fear of failure. I mean, that's just an excuse that you tell yourself to not do something. I mean, any idea that you have that you want to work on, I mean, it's going to require some sort of capital, whether that's monetary, whether that's a time, putting time into it, whether that's a skill level or a skill that you have to develop. I mean, it's going to take some sort of investment on your part to make it worth it. So, I mean, I would say take the leap as best you can and see how it pans out. Worst case scenario, you have a funny story to tell in the future of how it didn't pan out. Best case scenario, you have something real.
Oh yeah. All right. As we're closing down, the one question that I didn't warn you ahead of time: what is the one failure that you cherish the most?
One failure. It's hard to pick just one. I have so many of them. Man, I don't know. I'd have to say, during this is because it's in recent memory, but I had one order of prototypes come in that were just completely fucked and just didn't work, and I spent a ton of money on them, and I almost called it quits there. And I looked at it and I was like, man, I kind of have to choose whether to put a little bit more money and reorder this the right way, or whether this is it for me. It was a failure, but I chose to carry on through that failure, and ultimately the next batch worked really, really well, and it got me excited again, and gave me the momentum to carry it through to the end.
Where can we find more about the VTS and Volca itself?
My website, VulcaFire, VulkaFire.com, or my Instagram also has some content on there with a link to the website, which I collab you on a lot of posts. So
Hashtag collab.
That's right.
Yeah.
And I'm sure people are looking at my posts like, who the fuck is Keep the Fire? Or people are looking at your posts like, who the fuck is VulcaFire? Like, what?
I've had a couple of people be like, is this another company of yours? And I'm just keeping it hush hush just to keep the suspense building so they go check it out.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I appreciate that.
My friend, this has been one of the most fun podcasts that I've gotten to record, and we've covered highs and lows.
Yeah.
The past and the future, and some good fucking fun stories. So
That's
I
right.
really appreciate you coming on. And if the past is any indicator, I'm going to have you on in the future talking about your victories and your successes. So
awesome.
Thanks so much for
Are you going to tell your listeners why I'm on the podcast to begin with?
I think that's going to be for your next appearance.
Gotcha.
We'll keep them guessing.
All right. That sounds good.
Say hi to Ashley for me.
Yeah, we'll do. All right, buddy.